My name is John Wagner. We're here in Williamstown at Bare Roots Farm. We are a 350-acre vegetable farm, diverse vegetable farm. We do 20 acres of organic vegetables.
I'm Karin Bellemare, and John and I co-own the Roots Farm Market in Middlesex, but I would call myself the manager. The store sells predominantly Bare Roots Farm vegetables during our peak season. We also sell products from tons of different producers in Vermont. It goes all the way to like artisans and makers and bakers, etc., etc. I feel like I'm connected to the wide network of our food system, but beyond the food system, that's what I spend my days doing.
I'm your host, Andy Chamberlain, and I take you behind the scenes to learn how farmers are building their business in sustainable agriculture. These farmer-to-farmer interviews cover a wide range of topics from cropping systems, marketing channels, lifestyle decisions, and lessons learned along the way. One ask I have for you is if you can leave a comment or write a review. There's a feature enabled right now called Fan Mail, so you can send a message via text to the podcast right from the link in the description. These come through as anonymous, so if you want to be known or would like me to reply, let me know who you are in the message. Give it a whirl, it's quick, easy, and free, and I'd love to hear from you. Today's episode comes to you from Williamstown, Vermont, where we visit with John Wagner and Karin Bellemare of Bare Roots Farm and the Roots Farm Market. Together, they've built up a 20-acre vegetable farm and a local goods store in Central Vermont. John starts off by sharing how they got started on Long Island and how they ramped their business here in the Green Mountains. Karin joins later on to talk about how business coaching a few times, a whole lot of grants, and personal growth helped them to get to where they are today. Before we get started, I'd like to share a recent review from Apple Podcasts, which states, "I love this podcast. It's super informative, clear, and down to earth. Very useful for farmers, backyard growers, homesteaders, or anyone that wants to know about how food is made." And with that, let's get on to the show.
Can I get you anything? Glass of water?
Sure.
Okay. I'll give you one of my farm glasses. Stainless steel has here.
Oh.
How's your season been going?
So far, so good.
Yeah?
Yeah. The first planting of corn is absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
But other than that.
Yeah, we got like 10% germination on that.
Yeah, exactly.
But us and everyone else.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple, people are always like, you should transplant all your first round. And, when I saw it was a little cold, I did do like 1,000.
Yeah.
I seeded out like 1,000 in the greenhouse.
Of something.
Just to have something. And then, of course, nothing came up, so.
Well, I was talking to George at Dog River, and I think he transplanted everything. Same thing. It just floundered.
And even with the transplant.
Yeah, it was just a bad year all around, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I've talked to all the dairy guys, all like terrible germination, had to reorder all the seed.
Ugh.
Yeah, till it all in.
Terrible.
Yeah. But I guess that wouldn't be fun.
Yeah.
We wouldn't keep doing it if it was easy.
Meanwhile, the pumpkins look great so far. So.
Yeah. I've got a little woodchuck, I think, in there starting to set up shop, so we're going to have to deal with that.
We did an experiment. We did half acre in black plastic this year on the pumpkins, and those just exploded. So I want to do a lot more of that, but then I got to get better at my edge cultivation for the row middles before those weeds take over stuff. So
I know.
It's a learning curve.
I've found with the winter squash, they do such a good job of putting a canopy. They usually knock the weeds down, but yeah, you do. We row cover them all.
Okay.
We do about 3 acres of winter squash.
Wow.
And we're row covering them, so there's like, I try to get in there right before we row cover them.
Yeah.
I do it mainly for beetles.
Yeah.
So I do have like a slight window. Like we'll transplant, let them sit for a minute, and then cultivate and throw that over. Yeah. But yeah, weeds, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of them this year. all that rain we got, it was like impossible to.
I think a lot of people do this
Yeah.
year, especially.
Yeah, I don't worry about them too much anymore. We do a lot of crop rotation and cover cropping, so it seems to like balance itself out.
Well, that's good.
I guess. Yeah.
How much of your ground do you get cover cropped each year?
Probably 30 to 40 acres we aim for. Our goal is 60, but
60 acres cover crop?
yeah.
How many are you doing? How many in cultivation?
We have access to like 150,
Whoa.
and we do 20 acres in vegetables per year.
So what's the rest?
Either cover crop or multi-year cover crop. But I spend most of my time just cover cropping. My crew does the rest.
You have crew for the veg farm. You're just out there.
Vegetable farm, I haven't run it in years, but I'm pretty much getting cover crops in.
Cover cropping's the fun part.
It is
I
the
like
fun
that
part.
part, yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what I realized from farming. It's like I like all the things that are not like for-profit farming.
Of course, yeah. So what's a little background, who you are, where we're at, and what you're farming?
Yeah. So we started, Karin and I, my wife, started a farm in 2010 in eastern Long Island. My parents had a acre in the backyard. It was like some old horse farm, I think. I didn't grow up farming. I'm first generation. It's a little bit of history with my mother. On my mother's side, she had a cattle station in Australia. So, yeah, that's one generation removed. She grew up on it and left when she was like 16. But yeah, I guess I inherited like some form of gene from that wanted to, rough it. Because I grew up in partly in Australia and then the Hamptons in eastern Long Island, which is like, it was all potato country at one point, and now it's all just mansions.
Huh.
And, the 1% of America goes out there to holiday. So my dad was a college professor out there, and they had 14 acres, but one of it tillable. Karin and I graduated Green Mountain College in Vermont and moved back out there. And I was landscaping. She was working at a health food store. And we had the crazy idea to start a vegetable farm. It actually, the original idea was backyard gardens for rich people who didn't want to do the work themselves but wanted to show it off to their friends. So
from a landscaping perspective,
exactly.
But productive.
I did 4 years of landscaping, or 6 years, something like that. It's been a while now. And I was like mulching yards and mowing and planting all this stuff, and these people were out there once or twice a summer. And they go around and have a little party and say, look what I did, and look what I did with the place, or something along those lines. But it felt somewhat meaningless. Yep. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe I could do these backyard gardens and then harvest them and donate the food to something. And that could be a viable alternative business to just mulching someone's shrubs. But I realized I didn't know anything about farming. I didn't know anything about growing vegetables. I knew how to like transplant arborvitaes and do all that stuff, but no idea how to grow a tomato. So I reached out to a local farm. It was an old CSA farm, Quail Hill Farm, east end of Long Island. I think they were like one of the first CSA farms in the U.S. And they're associated with Peconic Land Trust. So nonprofit farm. They had, I think, 200 CSA members. It was one of the only U-pick CSAs I think I've ever seen, where people would go and harvest from the farm instead of, I'm sure they do it around here, there's like blueberries and all that you pick, but this is like everything. They're harvesting kale, tomatoes.
Back in the 20 teens, you're saying?
They're still doing it, I think.
Yeah, but that was early. Like, it's a little bit trendy. I think more people are trying that now.
It makes sense. The labor costs are insane. And I think connecting people to the food is probably, it's certainly important. Anyway, so we volunteered there, Karin and I, and then the next year started CSA, did like 4 little farmers markets, did our 1 acre. It was reinventing the wheel to the max. Like, we did like 1 planting of everything and had no concept of, doing other plantings beyond that and succession planting. And learned a lot. And I guess we're still learning a lot 15 years later. But we got the basics down now. So we did that for 4 years. We kind of got to a point where we realized we wouldn't be able to afford any farmland out there. We were kind of jaded by like the culture of the place because there was just so much wealth, and the local people were kind of getting pushed out, and relationships were limited with the community. Not to say they're not there. We had some really close friends, but we decided we wanted to move to Vermont. So we came up, visited with our friend Joe Boson. You might know Joe. He runs Vermont Bean Crafters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we went to college together.
Nice.
And he said to us, he was like, what would be like your ideal farm? And we're like, well, 50 acres, tillable land, up here in the mountains, like close to a place where we could like actually sell the vegetables.
Right.
So he ended up bringing us to Bragg Hill Farm, which is in Fayston, and it was a Vermont Land Trust property. And they were putting it up for applications through the Farm Access Program. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yep.
So we put in an application, and we didn't get it, but they were like, oh, we like you guys, we want to work with you, like let's figure something out, but like if you're serious, like you should probably consider moving up here and like getting yourself organized. So I think 6 weeks later we like packed you all up and
can do.
Yeah. Oh, I also forgot to mention we got flooded during Sandy with salt water.
Oh.
So that was kind of just like, all right, this island's going down. We got to get out of here to higher, drier land. Little did we know that this place is flooded, twice or 3 times since we've been here, and Long Island hasn't flooded since.
Go figure.
I know. Yep. So we moved up here, and then within 6 months, we were given the opportunity to purchase 87 acres in Barre through Vermont Land Trust's Farm Access Program. So it's quite the turnaround.
Yeah, that's pretty quick.
It was, yeah. I mean, we had all our equipment. We were like ready to go. We were serious. So we moved up here. We did, I think, 36 member CSA our first year, the Barre and Northfield Farmers Market. The journey a lot of young farmers have been on. We built it up till I think we had 200 members at one point, and we were doing Burlington and Montpelier Farmers Market. And that was a grind. We were doing the double market on a Saturday, getting up at 4 a.m, loading 2,000 pounds of vegetables into a van, setting up at these markets, bring half of it back, hot and wilted. And we were kind of like, all right, what's the next step here?
Yeah.
So we kind of had an idea for a farm stand. Could be on the farm, could be a wagon on the side of the road somewhere. We weren't sure. We were kind of like looking around, and there was a spot in Middlesex, an old general store that had been sitting vacant for 3 years. We had a friend of ours, Mike Beatty. He owns Hooley Flats Farm locally, and we asked him to like come take a look at it with us. And we went over there and we peeked in the window, and there was a bunch of water pipes that had frozen, and we're spraying water out all over the place, and we're like, perfect. This is our kind of place.
We can afford this one.
We can afford this one. This is right up a farmer's alley. Yep. So with family, we ended up borrowing money from them, and then a year later purchasing from them. We bought it right away.
Yeah.
Fixed it up in like 3 months. Opened like a bare bones market where it was like pretty much our vegetables and a couple of sodas and very limited inventory. And since then we've kind of been building on it every year. We put in a commercial kitchen. We're doing prepared foods with our vegetables. We added like a little nursery out the side. I actually helped build an addition last year with a professional. Hired a professional to help me. The old farmer carpenter wasn't going to fly with the state. So we added an addition. We're building out parking lots. I'm going over there tomorrow to keep building the parking lot. Working on the siding still.
Yeah.
And just keep going.
Is that your primary outlet for your veggies now, or are you still selling other places?
It's definitely our primary outlet. Yeah, that's probably 80% of what we do goes through the store, whether it's the kitchen or the or just the retail side. And we do a lot of wholesale through there too.
Yeah.
So we'll just put stuff in the cooler and then somebody can come and pick it up.
Okay, so that's your pickup spot.
Yeah, it's a nice central location. It's not out here.
Right.
Williamstown.
Up on the hill.
Yeah, up on the hill.
Yeah.
And we do wholesale. We are doing a CSA through the store now, but I think it's not at the same capacity. It's just like a pre-buy card.
Oh.
There's been a lot of ups and downs, especially in the last 5 years. So labor was an issue. Just inflation was an issue. So we've started a lot of projects that didn't work out. The CSA was a little much to run on top of the store, because Karin is like full-time running the store and I'm full-time on the farm. So farm's kind of scaled back a little bit and simplified. And
are those two separate businesses or one?
They are, yeah. Two separate businesses.
So is that technically like a grocery store?
Yeah, I guess you could consider it that.
It's not a farm because it's just retail, right?
Well,
or
it's just retail.
Yeah,
it's not a farm. It's kind of a hybrid model because we sell primarily our produce, but we buy in, bread, cheese, beer, wine, anything local that we can get our hands on, soap, flowers. So I would consider it like a co-op style farm,
that's a good
year-round farm market. That's what it resembles the most, I think, is more of a co-op, even though we're just the owners. But when you go in, the inventory we carry resembles a co-op.
That's a good example.
Yeah.
When did you open the store and like say that was up and running? I know it's been evolving, but
I think it was either 2019 or 2020.
So you opened right.
It was right before COVID. Right before COVID. Yep. Which actually was a blessing because it gave us a year to kind of get our bearings, but we didn't have systems in place that were so established they would have been hard to break, because when COVID hit, everything just changed overnight, and it made us a little more flexible at the time. So yeah, I mean, not that any of us want to relive it, but we were kind of looking at the news and seeing what was happening, and I said to Karin, I was like, I think we need to create some kind of online store. Which was like, absolutely not. We're not doing that. And then like 2 days later, she was just like, okay, let's do that.
It's up.
And just like went for 3 days straight, putting inventory into the computer and creating an online store.
Yeah.
And so we moved pretty quick on that, and it was a nightmare. It was like the people that typically work the register are trying to go around and like pick up orders that have been called in over the phone or online, and they'll forget something, or I don't know. It was just they weren't used to that. It wasn't. Nobody was trained to do that. They were just trying to wing it, putting stuff outside.
Right.
Somebody would grab the wrong bag and walk off with it, and anyways, it was interesting, and we made it through. And then that was followed by like employee shortages and inflation of products, and it's been pretty volatile since in the farming world and in the retail world.
Yeah.
We're now a little more aware and prepared to adjust when the next thing comes up.
What do you think has been a good aspect of, I don't know, flexibility or adaptation that like has really made things keep working?
I think we're pretty diverse in our business model. So we're not doing huge quantities of anything. That allows us, like if something's not working, we can adjust. We don't have all our eggs in one basket. So I think that's helped us a bit. The flip side of that is you're just doing so many different things. You're going to lose some of them, so there's like some waste in that. You're not the best at anything because you're so spread out.
Yeah.
But I think as time goes on, we've gotten better at the things that we're really good at, and win some, lose some.
Yep. And when you're saying that, are you thinking diversity from your crop mix or diversity from the retail, as in like you've added the kitchen and the plant side of things and bought in other local stuff? Like,
yeah, I think all of that adds into our diversity. If you're just talking about the farm, our farm is now kind of shifting slowly towards doing as much stuff as we can that we can sell through the store in small quantities. So in the last couple of years, we're doing more raspberries, blackberries, blueberries. We're planting fruit trees, and not huge quantities of any of them. And we have to manage all this stuff and keep track of it all. But on top of like our vegetable operation, and that could also be like animals we could put in the mix.
So you don't have any animals?
I've got some beef cows.
Okay. But
very small herd.
How many is small to you?
2.
Okay. Yeah.
Two bred cows. We're always trying to get it bigger, but then I'm just like, there's always a point in the year I'm just like, what am I doing? Sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too busy. Yeah.
I actually just use them for like grazing purposes mainly. Mm-hmm. I'm more interested in that. So it's more my hobby, just helping to manage some of the farm.
Are they part of your rotation?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and we're kind of getting into the point, because we're doing so many years, multiple years of cover cropping on fields. We're starting to, we're doing like a fencing project.
Nice.
And water lines for them, so that we can like actually grow vegetables one year and then pasture the next on the cover crop.
Yeah.
So
nice.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
I mean, both things need water. You said you're dryland veg farming, but if you get water there for the animals...
Yeah, but one needs a lot more water. I can accommodate a couple of cows. It's the vegetables that require a lot more drinking. So yeah, but there will be infrastructure in place.
Right.
And then maybe someday we'll get some wells to supply it all. But right now we've got a well down at our washroom and then a well in the house, and that is what we're doing for, I think we've got 6 high tunnels here, 30 by 100.
Okay.
So we've split them. So one well does 3, the other well does 3, and we're just running them. Like one house gets water every day.
Yeah.
All day.
Okay.
That's kind of our system.
All day.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Depends on what the crop is.
Okay.
We've got a system.
Yeah.
But I think the diversity has, I don't know, it's a personal interest to me.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps me engaged, keeps me excited. I've gone through years where we're like, okay, we're just going to do like these 3 crops and like we're going to do a good job of them, and I got bored really quick. So, I think farming, it has to be, at least for me, it has to be not just a business, but like it needs to be fulfilling.
For sure.
And so having all that changing and chaos and failure and success all combined.
Provide a challenge to strive for.
Provide a challenge. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think those years where you wanted to like focus on a handful of crops like helped you learn and kind of focus on and improve those before you grew into the next phase?
Yeah, I think it helped us establish good practices for all those different things.
Yeah.
And now I kind of keep that in mind when doing anything. I'm like, okay, like you need to establish a good system for everything you do. And if you don't have a good system for it and you keep messing it up, then you just got to let it go.
Right.
So strawberries has been something I would love to do, and something about that timing of when you need to focus on it, I just haven't been able to do it. So.
It's kind of a different system from a lot of veg production.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's some overlap, but like you said, then the timing clashes.
I always fail on the timing. So maybe we just need to do it in a smaller amount. That seems like I keep saying that, and then I order 5,000 plants, and then it just blows to the wind. That's just it takes a commitment that I've failed to succeed in. I don't know, but one thing that has worked out pretty well is we're growing out like seedlings and other edible plants for the store. That is also in that time of year where strawberry plants are producing.
Yeah,
and that seems to be working really well for us, that like seedling model.
Yeah. Are you buying in strawberries?
Yeah. To the store. The store's buying them in, and they have a couple of producers that are pretty on it.
Yeah.
And whatever ones I can pull out of the weeds that are left over from my attempt of growing them, we add that.
What's kind of your standard, we'll call it standard practices or standard systems you have in place for growing veg?
Standard systems.
Like plastic culture, transplanting?
Yeah, we've got plastic, black plastic. I think I've never met a farmer that's like, I love black plastic.
Right.
But if you're going to run a competitive commercial farm, I think that's kind of what it is. It's got its pros and cons.
Yeah.
Obviously, pulling it is a nightmare if you're organic and you have weeds.
Yeah.
Always trying to do a better job of that. But it protects the soil, I think.
Yeah.
And especially now we're seeing dry and then like these heavy duty rains where you have major erosion. I think having like row covers and black plastic or some kind of natural mulch is great. So we do that. A lot of cover cropping, as I mentioned. Really trying to build up organic matter in the soil. my goal is when like it's super dry, you can just kind of dust off the top of the soil, and there's so much organic matter that it's just holding that moisture.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what are your go-to cover crops that you're?
I've messed around with all kinds
Yeah.
over the years. Oat-rye peas seem to be like the pretty straightforward ones.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some other ones that people have messed around with. If I'm doing rotational grazing, I'm starting to look into like some alternative perennial grass type things.
Yeah.
Haven't got there yet. But yeah, oats, peas, rye, Austrian winter pea are great. Good fixer of nitrogen. They overwinter well. Rye has been a bit of a pain for us in recent years because it's been so wet. It has become more of a weed. Oats, they're nice, but they kind of lose something when they winter kill. You feel like your soil's still a little bare coming into the spring.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the big ones.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite crop that you like to grow?
Favorite crop I like to grow? No, probably not. I like little bits of everything.
Yeah.
Yep. I like growing new things. I like experimenting. I usually like the first of everything.
Fair enough.
That's my go-to. The first cherry tomato, the first eggplant, the first new potatoes, peas, like the first bite of everything is always the most rewarding.
True. Fresh and delicious.
Yep, even like a zucchini, first zucchini. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
Again, every year that cycle keeps. Yeah, I love that about farming. I love how it's, there's all these different things changing, moving all the time, and
Right.
I'm usually happy to see it go too.
Right.
Yep.
The dopamine hit. It's growing again.
Yep. Yeah.
What does sustainable farming mean to you, and what are you doing to achieve it?
Oh, that's a tough one. I guess there's like a lot of different opinions on what sustainable farming would be. I'd say perfect world, you're probably not disrupting the natural environment, but since we are a commercial farm and we need to be efficient and the price point for food is pretty low, you need to be somewhat destructive to the environment, unfortunately. I think on our end, I'd love not to be able to till, which I do, but I kind of offset that by growing the soil for multiple years. So since we're doing, anywhere from 2 to 4 years of cover cropping per field, we like to think we're growing the soil and the biomass every year instead of like degrading it more and more. I have degraded soil before. I've seen what it looks like. It doesn't grow good food. Pests and disease are a major issue. We hardly have any pests and disease now because of all the cover cropping.
Interesting.
Like I don't spray. It saves me a lot of time not to spray.
Nice.
But all that goes into my cover cropping. So all that time, yeah.
All your time is still consumed.
You can always find a way to be consumed by it. Yeah, I don't know. Just trying to leave it in better shape than how you found it. I think that's probably the most sustainable method.
Yep.
Which is hard to do. There's black plastic you're trying to get out. Sometimes we got flooded in 2023 and we had a whole field of cabbage that went under, 6 inches of soil.
Oof.
Like, I called up NOFA and I was like, how am I supposed to deal with this?
Yeah.
So we've been pulling it out ever since.
in littler pieces.
In little pieces.
Ugh.
Yeah. So you do your best. There's just so many different factors, and there's like the perfect world, and then there's the real reality
Yep.
of it all. Yeah, I find doing the things that are more like hobby related, like we do like pollinator plantings and create kind of native habitat for different animals and bugs, and I do that on the side when I can. So
Yeah.
just to see like, things, beautiful chaos in its own setting. Just let it go.
Let nature happen.
Yeah, let nature happen. Yep. That to me is like offsetting all the other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, to produce food at a commercial scale, it requires a lot of, intensive tilling, and it's not the best. I wouldn't call that sustainable.
Well, you feel like you've been improving your soil. Are you seeing that on soil tests, or just observations from growing performance? And
no, both.
Yeah.
Yeah, both. As I mentioned, pests and disease are pretty. We've got 2 separate properties, so we're like rotating crops. The other property is 7 miles away, so
wow.
Potatoes are there one year and here the next. I love to see that population of beetles start to accumulate, and then I eliminate their whole food source, and they come back the next year and nothing's there.
So in every other cycle is sufficient in that case.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So we do that a lot. I'd say our biggest pest pressure is the deer. We're always trying to outrun them because they can cover quite a vast area.
Yep.
And because they live for multiple years, they remember when it comes back. They're like, oh yeah, I like that thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go mow that row of lettuce down. Or for some reason, I've had them eat my onions. I've had them eat. They get worse and worse as time goes on. I'm like, how are you eating an onion over grass? Like, there's all these lush pastures out here. Why are you eating my onions?
Spicy grass.
Yeah. Sweet onions, I guess. Yeah. So that's been our biggest issue, is the deer.
Yeah. How is managing a farm spread across 7 acres? You mentioned it's 2 properties primarily? Or you have plots all in between?
Technically it's 3, because we've got our store, and then we've got our original farm in Barrie, and now we're in Williamstown, which is like the primary farm. So for the Barrie property, we've kind of geared it towards like larger scale crops. Like I'll do our fall cabbage and potatoes and onions there one year. Try and outrun like all those pests, swede midge, leek moth, potato beetle. Doesn't always work, but I do notice like trends, like a great reduction in pressure. Like I never feel like, man, I lost this crop to one of those pests. So
that's good.
Yeah. I was really worried when sweet midge became like a thing, and I started noticing our first impact of it. Yeah. But yeah, last couple of years it's been.
Are you row covering a lot of that stuff?
We were when we first got here, not as much now.
Yeah.
So that is also like an indicator,
right,
of that being not as big of an issue. Flea beetles in the spring are killer for us, but.
What do you think is driving that? Do you think it's the soil health, or do you think it's the rotation, like flip-flopping crop species each year, or beneficial stuff growing nearby?
Yeah, I think it's all of it. I think like the combination of all these different things you can try to implement to kind of hedge your bet.
Yeah.
That's what I've observed.
Are there other commercial farms near those properties, or are you fairly distant?
I think we're pretty isolated.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we first got up here, everyone looked at us and said, what are you guys doing over here? Like, what are these pieces of equipment that you're using? It's all like dairy and beef farms over here.
Yeah.
So not a whole lot of vegetable.
New kid on the block. What the heck?
There's a lot of head scratching going on.
You're from New York, eh?
Yep. Yeah, they're like, well, he kind of works hard, so I guess I don't mind him. But
Gives it a good effort.
yeah,
See what he can do.
I don't know what he's doing out there with those weird machines, but
Rain flow.
yeah, rain flow. What is that? What are those tanks for?
Yeah.
Yep. So, no, not a lot of other farms in the area. So.
Well, that's good too.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so I think we're kind of like at a phase now where we have a lot of systems. The goal is like we've spent a lot of time pushing hard and investing money and doing projects like installing high tunnels and building out a washroom, infrastructure projects where it's not like I can afford to have someone else do it, so I'm doing it all. And every time you like expand one sector of the business, like you have to be fully immersed in it to make sure that it's successful.
Yep.
So we've done many years of all of that, and we're trying to take little chunks out of every week and allocate it for our personal life now. Let's stop at 4 and go for a swim.
Yeah.
Like Karin and I play soccer 3 days a week now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time off.
We just went for a 4-day vacation in August.
Nice.
During the busiest time of the year. We're kind of just allowing ourselves that because we took a lot of time to not do that.
Right. I mean, you're 15 years in now.
15 years in, I'm just turned 40. Like we've been grinding, and there's still going to be ups and downs where we just have to jump back into it. But we don't want to get to a point where we're just like, man, we just worked our whole life and never did anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. That's totally understandable.
Yeah. So,
you deserve to have a little fun.
Yeah. So the quality of life is now a factor of the business. Mm-hmm. That's like it needs to be. You do enjoy yourselves a bit.
Yeah, no, but that's also encouraging to hear. Like, hear a business. We'll call it plateau or slow down in the building phase to and actually like enjoy a little bit of time too.
Yeah.
Before you're 65,
right,
or older, or whatever,
Yeah.
A lot of farms seem to be that 7 to 10 years to get the flywheel spinning.
Yeah. That's what it feels like, and.
At least.
And everything's so volatile all the time. It's like you never know when you're gonna have to jump back in the trenches and do it.
And yeah, you kind of built two businesses at once. You built the farm and the market.
Yeah. It's all we're really good at concepts, and then unfortunately we work hard too. So like,
so it comes together.
It comes together, but it's never easy. It's never easy. Everything you think it's going to be, it's 10 times harder.
Yeah.
And as time goes on, you're slower. You're physically slower. The pile that you've like built up in your daily reality, you don't think of it, and then you have to add that to the new thing that you're doing.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah.
Of course, we can build a kitchen.
Sure.
And expand the farm.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, that in itself is another business. And
right.
We just had no idea. We had no idea at the time. We were just like, oh, we need to like pickle these cucumbers. Like instead of growing less cucumber, we need to like, we have the surplus. We gotta pickle them.
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
Yeah.
So we started a kitchen, and then all the people that work there are like, well, we don't want to pickle. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? We built this so we can pickle. Nope. We want to make sandwiches. We want to do soups. We want to do this stuff. All right, fine. Do it.
Yeah.
No more pickles. Well, what do I do with all these pickles? Oh, let's find somebody that wants to buy pickles. But we built this kitchen. So, yeah, that's kind of how it's gone. Reality.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. So.
There's a certain amount of visionary push that you can do with then like accepting what the employees want to do, what the market demands. If the market wants sandwiches and not pickles, I guess we'll sell sandwiches, right?
Yeah, so. That's exactly what it is. You have this idea. Yeah, I don't know. That's where we ended up.
but we're still making at least a batch of pickle storage.
I was just on the phone with my friend Joe from college, and I was like, Joe, let's start a side business. Do you have any employees that can do it for us? Because I'm maxed out. But I'll send you the pickle. I'll send you the cucumbers, and you can make the pickles.
Joe, I got this great idea. You got 10 minutes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's got the same thing going on. He's got 10 different things. He did bean crafters with the veggie burgers and or bean burgers, and he did All Souls Tortilleria, which is the tortillas.
Oh, he's part of that too?
He just sold off his portion, so he had more time with his family.
Yeah, understandable.
But then he started a farm, so yeah,
in his spare time.
Serial enablers of each other. Yeah,
it's a certain breed of us. I feel it.
Yeah, I was just running through the list of all the things we've tried to do over the years with my employee. I was like, we've done sauerkraut, we've done pickles, we've done sauces, salsas, hot sauces, you name it. We've tried to do powders, we've done dehydrated things. Some people have accomplished it, all of it. Yeah, but
that's what's annoying. It seems like somebody jumps on something and it works, and it's like, golly, I've tried 20 different things, but...
Yeah, I know. But it keeps it interesting.
Yeah, it does.
But I've realized I'm good at growing food. I'm not so good at getting in a kitchen and processing it.
There's that too.
Don't like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to How I Built This?
No.
Podcast?
Not that one.
It's all about like people who have become very successful in their business, but they tell their story.
Sounds like I'd like it.
Yeah, I think you would. The only problem is if you are like me, every story that you hear, you're like, oh, I could do that. I could do that.
I know.
I could do that. And, they're all super inspirational, but it's like 5% of the population finds the success that they have.
Yes.
And there's a combination of things. It's luck and being in the right place at the right time. And some of them had great ideas. And
early on, I was into personal finance, which led me into like side hustle ideas and stuff like that. And that even still, I listen to like Mike Rowe and people like, other entrepreneurs. It's just like keeps that creative brain going, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. It's have you ever heard the Tate's Cookies, right?
Yeah.
The person who started it was Kathleen King, and she started it on her parents' farm in eastern Long Island, next town over from where I grew up. And I think she was like 9 or 11 years old, and she was baking cookies and selling them on the side of the road to pay for her clothes for school. She worked her ass off until she was 50 and then sold it for like $60 million or something like that. But just never know how it's going to end up.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but a lot of ups and downs.
So you found your strength to be growing vegetables. What kind of crew do you have? How many people do you have?
I've got 2 guys from Jamaica through the H2A program, and Denton, this is his 7th year, and he runs the place. Like, I don't even know. I usually ask him what we have to do, and then I make a list for him and hand it back. He tells me what to do. I write it down and then hand it back to him and say, okay, that sounds good. I'll see you in 2 days. Yep.
Maybe try this first or whatever, prioritize.
Yeah, I've got to reel things in a bit. Like right now we've got too many string beans. And I'm like, okay, what happened there? Why'd we overseed? And that's because last year we underseeded.
Right, right.
And it was a good growing year. So
right,
that you run into that.
And a little bit of a yo-yo effect.
Yeah, so now I got to start a dilly bean business. Better open another kitchen.
Yeah.
I've got Denton and Mario, who are both really good. They're just great farmers and great people, and they make this place work.
Nice.
Yep. I can't do it anymore. the way I used to in my younger years.
Yeah.
But Denton, he's 65 years old, and Mario's younger. He's 33. I was happy that we had that balance.
Yeah.
But Denton will outwork him. He takes great pride in what he does, and he's very good at it. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any negatives of anybody who's had the H2A crew with them.
yeah. No, it's it's a little complicated with the whole visa program and everything.
Yeah, right.
You got to hire an organization to do it. It's expensive.
Right.
You got to have the infrastructure for it, housing and transportation and all that. But they show up
Right. Year over year.
year over year. Yeah, that's true. Everyone that
that's
we've
true,
had
too.
locally
That's
has
huge.
been, for the most part, great. It's just like after 2-3 years, they usually are on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yep.
But that's not a good way to run a business, is to having to keep train people.
It's a hard way, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a hard way.
That's insane. You're doing 20 acres of mixed veg plus 60 acres of cover crops with you and 2 other guys.
And I have one part-time employee who helps me in the washroom. Yeah. And does my deliveries so I can cover crop.
Are
Yeah.
are your H2A guys, what kind of hours are they pushing?
They're working at least 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I basically said from day one, I was like, 5 days a week, 9 to 5 is kind of like the minimum.
The expectation.
The expectation. If you want to do more hours, then you can.
Right.
If anything, I have to force them not to work because they will find every angle to do more. And I'm like, there's a liability. Like, you can't be working all the time.
You need a little bit of
Like, there needs, if anything ever happened to you, like, this would look terrible for me because you
Yeah.
guys, so we've limited what they're allowed to work. But
Yeah, like I said, their safety, your productivity.
yeah, but I've tried everything. I've tried to like get them to be social and go out, and they're like, no, we just want to farm. They love it. So
They're here to make money, and
they're here to make money. Denton's putting his daughter through nursing school.
wow.
Yeah. So, and he's building he has his own farm in Jamaica, yam farm, but he's also building a rental house that he can use for like Airbnb. So that's his like retirement plan. So it's nice to feel like I'm helping to participate in that, even
Make
though
somebody else's dreams come true.
right,
Yep.
right, yeah. He's got a retirement plan.
Hey, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yep. So
How about in the store? How many people are helping out there?
Karin has a lot. I think 21 people are working there.
Whoa.
Yeah, so you have us on one side that's like lean and mean, and then you got this large. I mean, it's some are part time, some are full time, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of activity.
Wow.
Yeah. They move a lot of product. They do a great job over there. I'm really impressed. I could not manage that many people.
Right.
Like it needs. I need simple. But yeah, she's done a good job. She's got the kitchen. She's got the store, and they're both kind of like their own unit.
Right.
So
A lot of people.
it's a lot of people coming and going. Yeah, there's a lot of layers to it, but it must work.
Right.
It is working, I think. So they tell me. Yeah.
You look at the numbers; they seem to
Yeah.
the maths
Yeah.
for the most part.
I mean, I was always more of the like extroverted personality, and Karin was always the introverted.
Yeah.
So it's ironic that like I'm sitting here, like by myself, and and then she's inundated with people all day.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's something you wish you knew when you started farming?
I thought about that one. Here's Karin now. Hi, Karin. No, you're not. You could even be in it.
I got another mic if you want to.
I'm literally
Introvert.
Okay.
We were just saying how you're the introvert.
I unfortunately am.
Yeah.
Managing 20 some odd people, he says.
Oh my god, it's like every day's a new day. You never know. I will try to just go somewhere you guys can.
Oh, I've got one question for you, Karin.
What's up?
That last one. What was it again? It was
What's something you wish you knew when you started?
This is a deep question.
yeah, that's
It
a tough
is.
one. That's a tough one.
There.
Well, that,
I'm an
Had in
anxious
mind.
person, so to help my anxiety would have been nice to know how it ends up. Right? Like how to
Oh,
tell the future.
to know that your vision will come.
Yeah, that
Come
we're
around.
gonna be alright. I mean, alright. That means in this world, but
yeah, I think that's a good answer. It's all going to be okay no matter what. What's the worst that could happen? You fail, which is what farming is.
Then you try your next.
Right, then you just pickle
Idea.
something else.
I honestly think that not knowing anything was just way better.
Yeah.
That's the only way that I would have kept going, is to like not know, honestly.
If you knew what your future would have been, you might have been
I wouldn't have
intimidated,
done it.
right?
Yeah, because I did
Overwhelmed.
not have the skills to do what I do now back then at all. It's like a child.
Right.
It's like weird. I was 23.
There's so many layers and challenges. We would never have been able to do it all in one hit. It's
Right.
just like gradually learning over the years. Yeah. Yeah, I think that sums it up. When we first started, we thought it was like such a romantic concept, farming, like growing your own food, so rewarding. We had no idea like what would be involved.
What you're in for.
How hard it would be, the ups and downs, the financial pressures, the emotional pressures of employees, and whatever it is.
What do you think was one of the hardest nuts to crack?
Managing people, probably, I think, is a continually difficult thing, and not one we don't embrace. Like, we're always like, how can we be better at managing? Especially Karin. As I mentioned, I've chosen not to have that route, but Karin and I talk a lot about managing people now. That's kind of where we're at. And there's so many different layers, there's so many personalities. Bringing different people together is complicated, so getting them to work together. Creating like a professional, safe environment for people. We've had every imaginable thing, from like stalkers at the store harassing our female employees, or like an employee saying something unprofessional that made somebody uncomfortable, or I don't know. There's just been so many iterations. People just not getting along because the personalities don't match, and like setting up boundaries for them to be able to, work it out. Yeah, I don't know if that answers that question.
No, it does, and I think it also helps, like this podcast. I think listeners get benefit just hearing their peers say that it's challenging.
Yeah.
And an evolving door. You get 20 people that aren't there for 7 years in a row. So you get new people, new problems. The culture keeps shifting.
Yeah. And if the business grows at all, like
right,
that changes everything.
You keep adding new enterprises, new layers.
Yeah.
Changing of systems, like you said.
Yeah. Learning how not to be friends with your employees, but friendly with your employees.
Right.
Like creating, like our early employees were like our best friends, and then we realized like, oh, that doesn't work well as the business grows because there's boundary issues.
It's a little binding.
Yeah, it can get complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that has been the most challenging thing. It's just personal dynamics with people and growing into a more professional environment.
I know. I think it's an evolving and continuous improvement thing that never stops. But is there something that you found that really did help in the people management side of things?
I think like anything else, it's like developing systems based on your experience with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you run into something, rather than saying like, I'm never going to deal with this, you say, okay, how can I make this better? How can I learn from this failure and get better at it? And maybe you don't every time, but
try.
You can keep trying, trying different angles.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. Get a therapist.
Outside help.
Yeah, outside help. I mean, a therapist needs a therapist. So it's yeah, I don't know. It's ever evolving. I've even heard with the most successful people in this world, like managing people is one of the harder things I don't think that's natural to most people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it comes natural.
Introvert or extrovert is still challenging.
I was going to say about the people management thing is like I did the Vermont Sustainable Jobs Fund coaching program, and the resources that they sent to me and provided for me in that program about managing people was like extremely crucial in the way that I've like managed people. And I feel like the resources are out there if you seek them out. There's a lot of programs available to farmers and small business owners.
That's a good point. You guys have had and utilized a lot of programs
like,
and help for a lot of things.
I think that's, they're there for a reason, and I think we've definitely used our resources, and I think it's important to know that they're out there. And they can help with a multitude of things. It's not just like management of humans. It can be many different things. But they have some really great people on their staff helping with that stuff. So I think managing people is something that I've done for a really long time in my, like, whatever you want to call it, a career. And it's just always evolving. And I think you're right, it never ends. The growth never ends there. And, like, I don't know. I'm just willing to work on myself through it all, I can always do better. And I learned through every single experience I have with another person. It's like, oh, here we are learning again.
Being an introvert, yet getting yourself into managing people, is there any tricks that you've done to like manage your anxiety? Or?
Oh yeah, I spend a lot of time. I have horses. I spend time with them. They're quiet, but not really, in their own way. I'm also like physically active. That's important for me, and I spend a ton of time in my garden, which specifically is flowers and not our farm vegetable business. So has to be different.
We brought this up early.
What?
That I'm not allowed to harvest your
No, he's not
flowers.
allowed near my flowers. He's trying to like extract my dahlia tubers, and I'm like, you're not. Those are my dahlia tubers.
Those are for the hummingbirds.
Those are for them and
So
for me.
you've got a lot of them.
Last year I had to like fight to keep them. It was the first year I have my own saved tubers. I still like growing things. It's just I'm not doing the veggie farming anymore.
Yeah, how does that feel? You started farming and now you're running the store.
I mean, it was a move that I needed to make. I knew that
Okay.
farming was not. It took the pressure off us working very closely together, because that dynamic, we did it. I wouldn't say we did it great, but we did it. It just put a lot of pressure on us in a whole nother category that felt like, if we could take pressure off of something, it was at least we could give each other some space within our business. So that just worked for us. And my mind is much more oriented to the job that I have now, so it kind of is a better fit for me. But we work very closely together still.
Right.
It's just very different.
Right, yeah, you're working together, but you're not side by side
No.
every day.
Yep.
No, I get that. Working with your spouse is incredibly rewarding and challenging.
That's honestly where where a lot of the development of like communication and all of this stuff started with just the two of us. Like, and that's the start of this management thing. It was like, oh, how are we going to speak to each other while we're, so that's where the lesson began.
Yeah.
And then it just has grown into like this big, there's now a lot of people involved. So
It's allowed us to draw the line between our personal life, I think,
I think so.
and our professional life. We really try not to, at 10 o'clock at night, say, hey, did you send out all those invoices? We hit a certain time of the day and we shut it down.
That has taken 15 years of 16 years of work.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how long did it take until you?
A lot of intentional.
It's still not perfect. We
Right.
constantly are biting our lip. Oh, caught myself.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we'll also run into something where one of us is like, "Why didn't you tell me about that? That's really important." I said, "Well, we were off the clock."
It's true. Just didn't want to.
You were enjoying your flowers.
Yep.
I was eating my steak.
Yep. Didn't want to bother you with that. But might stress you out.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like a lot of where we are now is because of all the resources that we've had, honestly. Like we've literally used like every program.
Yeah. What are some of those programs and things that you've utilized to build?
Well, we started with the Farm Access Program.
Yeah.
And through that, we were hooked up with Farm Viability Program. We did that first iteration for a couple of years, and then we like graduated, but then purchased this farm property and got re-enrolled. So we did it twice, pretty much.
We did it 3 times. We did it again with the store.
It was a half, because it was so close. We started our second stint in 2018 when we purchased this, and then the next year we started the store. So it was like lumped into one. So we had 2 stints with Farm Viability. Then we were in Farm Viability during like the first couple years of the store, and then it started to become irrelevant. Like it was relevant, but not. It was more store oriented rather than farm.
Kind of touching on things that weren't really related to.
Yeah, so we kind of paused for a minute, and we were still one unit. We were still one entity at the time, and stuff was really messy as far as like logistical things between the 2 business, I guess, which ultimately became 2 businesses, was a mess. So that's when I enrolled in the Vermont Sustainable Jobs Fund program, because I needed assistance. I needed assistance with a lot of things, but one of the things that came out of that was the separation of the 2 entities and what that looked like and what we needed to do to like set that all up. Through that program, I also got the best bookkeeper. Gonna like shout out. They saved us, honestly. I've had several good bookkeepers. We kind of just, yeah. So anyways, right now, like the store grew a lot really quickly. So we needed different resources for the specific stages of growth that we were in. We've also used you work a ton with NRCS. We've worked
grants.
a lot with NOFA.
Yeah.
I think through NOFA, we've done
Department of Agriculture. We've had grants through
Yep.
NRCS, FSA. That was Department of Ag, the one for the store.
that was a working lands grant.
Yep.
I don't know. We've really just been out there in the world. We've done it all, and we've tried our best to like squeeze it all together all along the way.
To be honest, every time we tried to do something without support, it was like spinning your wheels. You just couldn't get any traction. So
Because it wouldn't pencil out, or
wouldn't pencil out when everything's just so tight in farming, and to take a jump into something else requires resources we just never had. And we've borrowed money too. Like we've got a good amount of debt from 3 different properties and infrastructure build outs and
Whatever chaos we've created in our
yep, a lot of chaos. So next 40 years is trying to pay all that off.
fun.
Yeah,
But I feel like we entered it at a time in which things were very achievable as far as like interest rates. I feel very lucky that we did enter when we did, because I feel like the landscape now is a lot more volatile, and that's a lot. So much has changed since we started. I mean, even the weather's changed in our small time of farming. So there's a lot of risk and a lot of stressors out there, but I feel like every time we've used the resources and made the decisions to like do something kind of growth oriented, it's for whatever, in some fashion it's been successful. There's always been rough parts of those. But
your careers now, is it anything that you imagined would be when you started?
I think it's hilarious.
We had no.
Did you have an idea?
I don't think we really had an idea. No.
You know, it's interesting in college. We went to Green Mountain College. That's how we met. I studied business there, and in my senior year, I was in an entrepreneurship class, and we had to create a business plan. And I literally, essentially created the business plan that is what I do now, without any idea that this would be what I was doing. But like, it's hilarious to think back to that and be like, oh, you like started up a little store in your senior project, and now it's like what I do.
And Karin worked at a health food store when we were
worked at
living
many.
on Eastern Long Island.
Yeah, it's just funny that it just ended up that way. It's kind of bizarre.
But it wasn't intentional per se. It just kind of like that's where the opportunities.
The path led there.
Yeah.
I just think back to that little business. I don't have the business plan still, but I definitely wrote it.
It's familiar, right? In your next one.
Yep.
Things really need to align a certain way for you to do it. The timing has to be good. The finances have to be right. The time availability needs to be right. When we moved up to Vermont, we got the Barry property. Same thing when we got this place. We were in 5 years. We've been farming, and I reached out to Vermont Land Trust, and I was like, do you have 5 acres somewhere you know about?
Could use more.
We're like, yeah, 5 acres off site so we could rotate a little better. And they're like, no, but there's a farm that's available 10 minutes down the road from you. You have any interest? And I was like, no. Like,
I was like a hard no on it because
buying another farm? What are you, crazy? And they're like, well, just come take a look. I was like, all right.
Mm.
So there's a dynamic that exists between the two of us here, and it's like John has these grand big ideas and he pushes forward, and then I'm like the logistics creature that pulls it forward with the logistics. So in that scenario, I remember thinking like hard no on this, hard no, and here we are. So that one.
Well, we took a look at it and we said, well, what if we just use the land and rented out this house?
Uh-huh.
And we ran the numbers and we're like, okay, that pays for the mortgage and the taxes. So we did that for a couple of years, and then our cash flow got up enough where we could actually move in here and then turn that into worker housing in Barry.
Okay.
And use that for the H2A workers.
So this was that property to begin with. You were renting this house.
We were renting this house
Yeah.
and paying all the associated costs.
Yeah.
And then we had access to 250 acres that's here. At no additional cost, we just have to be a landlord.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the scheme of things, what's another thing to deal with?
But it helped. I mean, and that was the only way that we did this.
Yeah.
And then we moved
with the
here.
store, it was the same kind of deal. Like, we were like, oh, maybe we'll do a wagon on the side of the road somewhere where it's a little more busy, or I don't know. We just weren't sure, and then that place was there in Middlesex, and
John was in ideas mode for those years.
sometimes you just know. You look at a place and you're like, that's the one. That's it. Those pipes bursting all over the floor, I just knew.
You know, I had that thought today while I was taking photos of every single beehive that I need to deal with on that building. There's like 15 beehives going on right now.
Whoa.
Yeah. Anyways, that building is a living being of us. It is a.
It's part of the beautiful chaos.
It is a real creature. That
It was
one.
built in 1850. Since we've had it, we've gone through every single part of it: electrical, plumbing, fire suppression stuff. Just to get it functional, we tore out the whole, all the flooring, jacked up the building, drove in with a skid steer and backfilled it, and then poured a slab, and then dropped the building back down on that. The old farm hack way.
Yeah. You regret that at all?
No,
No regrets on that part.
that worked out.
Have you've been in?
Oh yeah. Beautiful store.
Yeah, thanks.
Inspiration for us, actually.
It's fun. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all of our little projects. They've got life of their own.
Yeah.
I'd say.
I don't know. I think every little chapter of it, you can't put it all together and say, I would have done this differently. You just kind of have to learn from every step.
Right, because if you said, all right, we like this corner of, or this intersection here, let's just bulldoze this old building and start fresh, you probably wouldn't have wanted to take out the loan for such a building.
Also,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, we're really into the old building thing.
Yeah, I get that too.
There's like a lot of, I don't know, there's just so much vibrancy in a building like that that's had like so many different iterations, and you're like, you can't just take that down. I mean,
it's hard
it was a
to
rough go, but
preserve that,
yeah.
yet still have a nice floor.
Yeah. Thankfully, we share the same vision in those things.
Yeah.
I think we both really value like preserving that. So, in all of our properties, like we really like care about the history and like honoring it. I think it's important.
Yeah, it is.
We felt specifically very drawn to the berry farm for that reason, because it had like,
because nothing about it was functional.
But there's potential.
Yeah. Hill farm with lots of rocks, old farmhouse, old dairy barn from the 1900s with a 6-foot ceiling.
Yeah.
Great.
we're in.
Yeah. Let's do it.
It worked out.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to a beginning farmer?
I don't know.
That's a really hard question to. I don't farm anymore, so John can answer that question. But I'm trying to put myself in the position of when I was deep in the farming thing.
You're still in the ag space.
Take really good care of yourself. Really, like, that's so important, and I overlooked it for a really long time. Take care of yourself. And I mean that deeply. Because farmers are like working insanely with their bodies, and you're also having to use your mind in a way that is, at the same time, you're using your body really physically, and I feel like you can lose yourself in there. So, I don't know. To me, that's very important, because you can only go so long before things go bad. You have to take care of yourself.
Yeah, I think it's easy to say.
It's so easy to say.
It's
But
easy to say it now.
I wish I could have told myself when I was starting,
But-
or someone had said to me, like, what you're about to do is going to be like insane, and you're going to sacrifice yourself in this, but don't lose sight of taking care of yourself. Serious. I think that's wisdom.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically,
All of it.
pace
Just be
yourself.
aware of it. Just be aware of it and think about it and value it. Just,
Karen's also been the one in our relationship that has always pushed for that, and I've always fought back. And she's right.
I think it's important.
She's right about it, and has allowed me. I talked to a farmer friend recently who is very similar to me, who just spent the last 10 years just working. And she's been in business for like 17 years now. And she said she regrets that she put her personal life on hold. Even though she's super successful, she has a lot of regrets, and those are the regrets that, like, she sacrificed family, friends, her personal relationships, all for this business model. So I'm not saying like you have to, but if you can find time in there to carve out for yourself, like, it's not going to be the end of the world if you don't do as much as you wanted to.
I think if I had heard me say this to myself back then, I'd be like, shut it.
Yeah.
I had an attitude, like I had a really like stubborn attitude about it, and I just worked myself into a place that I was not taking care of myself. So,
But it's hard to pace yourself when you're
pushing for something.
that you want to do. You know,
Absolutely.
you're motivated, you're excited.
Yeah, for sure. And we pushed hard and just worked for, I don't know, 10 years.
I did. And then I
Yep.
do a very different type of work that I also need to say the same thing to myself at the same time.
But now we're like, I'm taking that same energy I was putting into pushing that agenda and now reversing it. I'm like, oh, I'm ending at this time of the day, and I'm taking weekends, and maybe I'll do like a little bit here and there during those times, and I'm kind of giving myself permission to take time off. It's a weird thing to do. I feel guilty when I do it, and I have to say to myself, no, it's okay. You can just do it. Just do it. And
you guys don't have kids, right?
No kids.
Yeah. Also another very intentional choice, which has allowed us to be where we are.
Right.
We've put all that energy into this instead of raising children, so there's something to be said for that too.
Yeah,
and some could
forces
say
you to slow down if
Totally.
you go the family route.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So our lives look a little bit different than a lot of people our age, just because we made that choice. But yeah, definitely makes it different.
Yeah. Yep.
For sure.
You mentioned that you're, I don't want to say plateauing, but maybe slowing down and enjoying your evenings a little more. Do you see the business making any major shifts in the next 10 years? Either of your businesses?
Like, don't look over here.
It's hard to say. As I mentioned, I always have these ideas.
Yeah.
Now I have kind of a counterbalance of that telling me in one ear, don't do it, and then in the other side, well, maybe let's see how it could work. So I'm always on the lookout for like other store locations. But I think Karin is too, in a way. I think we're really enjoying like having that time. Maybe in a couple of years, we
I think for the store specifically, I am getting to, we just turned 6. And I think with that comes like a little more stability as far as like, I don't know, you just know what you're doing a little bit more, and the business has a little more foundation. And I think as it evolves, like it's just going to become even more grounded in itself. I don't see any major, like I don't have any big horizon goals right now. We just completed that big expansion. We're not even finished with all the details of it. I'm kind of at the mode where I just need to like take a breath. But I will say that the community has driven that space since the beginning. So I can't say that nothing is going to happen. I don't know. I feel like something starts churning and I can feel it, like the community's like, like it's just it's subtle, and then all of a sudden it becomes less subtle and you're like, oh, okay, I guess this is a shift that we'll make, or maybe we won't. Who knows? But I'm not opposed to it. I'm not a person that really I am goal oriented, but not in a hard way.
Yeah.
I'm not like, this is what I want to do in 5 years. I mean, in 5 years, I really would like to work less, probably. And maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, we're not taking, I personally am not taking on any major projects for the next 12 months.
Just running with everything you've
Just saying the
established.
12-month mark is my goal line right now. So
it's a good goal.
given that we just finished this big expansion.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned that in this conversation, but we like doubled the size of the retail space last year.
This year.
Yeah.
Let's be
This
clear, it was
year.
January of this year.
Yep. And I was running the farm full time and building full time. So I would like get up early, do a bunch of things on the farm, go to the store, sling a hammer for 8 hours, come home, do another 3 to 4 hours.
It wasn't
And
a great time for
we did
John.
that all summer into late winter, and it really cooked me. So I've been taking it easy this year. I've got a number of unfinished projects, and I'm like slowly doing them.
Yeah.
So
We're also kind of in the position now where if we don't always have to do everything. We can hire other people to do those things. So where we can, we've been trying to do that as well, just to like free up John's time to farm, what he actually does. Which is great. We are finally able to, the store's solid enough where it can, hire someone to do some of the things.
to fix the thing.
Yeah, and now like we're, the building is like legit, so we have like a professional electrician and like, I don't know, we have all the things that used to be on John's plate. So yeah.
That was all my questions. Everything that's coming to mind. Is there anything that you guys want to share or talk about that we didn't cover?
No, I think what you're doing is great, though.
Oh, thanks.
Cool. I think I've been thinking a lot lately about like how to connect the consumer to farming. It seems like there's like a lot of space between the two. I'm like, how does that happen? And I think what you're doing is probably the best way to do it for people to hear the stories and kind of understand what's going on. I know.
And the best way to learn is from your peers. So
Yeah.
This enables that. And the feedback I've heard is that people enjoy it and resonate with it. And
Cool.
Great.
so thanks for giving an afternoon of your time. And
Thanks for letting me walk right in.
no, thanks for being willing to sit down and join the conversation. You contributed a lot, and I think it'll really round out the show.
Yeah.
And that was the Farmer's Share. I hope you enjoyed this episode with John and Karin of Bare Roots Farm. The Farmer's Share is supported by a grant offered by the USDA Specialty Crop Block Program from the Vermont Agency of Agriculture, Food, and Markets. This funding helps to cover some of my time and travel in order to produce this podcast until March of 2026. The USDA Agricultural Marketing Service supports projects that address the needs of U.S. specialty crop growers and strengthens local and regional food systems. I have no doubt that this podcast will meet those needs and help educate growers to support the industry. If you enjoy this show and want to help support its programming, you can make a one-time or reoccurring donation on our website by visiting thefarmershare.com/support. We also receive funding from the Vermont Vegetable and Berry Growers Association. The VVBGA is a nonprofit organization funded in 1976 to promote the economic, environmental, and social sustainability of vegetable and berry farming in Vermont. Their membership includes over 400 farms across Vermont and beyond, as well as about 50 businesses and organizations that provide products and services of all types to their members. Benefits to members include access to the VVBGA listserv to buy, sell plants and equipment, share farming information, and tap the vast experience of our growers. Access the Community Accreditation for Produce Safety, also known as CAPS. This program is designed for growers, by growers, to help you easily meet market and regulatory food safety expectations. You can access the VVBGA's Soil Health Platform, where you can organize all the soil tests and create and store your soil amendment plans and records. Access to webinars for growers in the VVBGA annual meeting, an email subscription to the Vermont Vegetable and Berry newsletter, camaraderie, enhanced communication, and fellowship among commercial growers. Memberships are on a per farm, per calendar year basis, and annual dues this year are $80. These funds pay for the organization's operating costs and support educational programs and research projects. These funds also support projects that address grower needs around ag engineering, high tunnel production, pest management, pollinators, produce safety, and soil health. Become a member today to be a part of and further support the veg and berry industry. You can visit thefarmershare.com to listen to previous interviews or see photos, videos, or links discussed from the conversation. If you don't want to miss the next episode, enter your email address on our website and you'll get a note in your inbox when the next one comes out. The Farmer's Share has a YouTube channel with videos from several of the farm visits. We're also on Instagram, and that's where you can be reminded about the latest episode or see photos from the visit. Lastly, if you're enjoying the show, I'd love it if you could write a review. In Apple Podcasts, just click on the show, scroll down to the bottom, and there you can leave 5 stars and a comment to help encourage new listeners to tune in. I'd also encourage you to share this episode with other grower friends or crew who you think would be inspiring for them. Thanks for listening.